reality, then you might say, well, of course you could talk about it because strict material reality exists in the absence of biology and consciousness. But it isn't so obvious to me that material reality does exist in the absence of consciousness, because I can't conceptualize what existence would mean in the absence of consciousness. Like, is there time? Is there duration? Is there size? All of these things are relative in some sense. All of these things presuppose a conscious observer, even in the materialist description. So it looks to me like what reality is this unus mundus that Jung and Pauli were pointing to. It's chaotic potential. Now, I also think that we treat each other that way. So if I'm treating you properly, then I treat you as if you're a moral agent who's actively engaged in the transformation of the chaotic potential that manifests itself as the dawning of the future and that attracts your attention. I treat you as if you're an active moral agent engaged in making the moral decisions that determine how that potential is going to manifest itself. And if I don't treat you that way, then I'm patronizing. I don't grant you your full stature as a sovereign being, and I impinge upon your intrinsic value, the same value that allows you to claim the existence of natural rights and also the presence, I would say, of natural responsibility. So I treat you as if you're, well, I would say, made in the image of God in the Genesis terminology, that you are part of the process that turns the tohu abohu, which I never pronounced properly, into habitable order. And I think that that's the unus mundus. And I think that that's reflected in your neurological structure. And I think the fact that it's reflected in your neurological structure and in the neurological structure of animals with this, almost universal dual hemisphere neurological structure, which also, by the way, is something that's necessary even in neural networks, which is where we got the idea for plasticity and stability, by the way, in the big 5 aspect scale models and the higher order personality factors. I think the fact that bifurcation is reflected in neurology is a reflection of the fact that it exists in reality. Now, of course, defining reality is no simple thing. You can think about it as an objective materialist, but you can also think of reality as the sum total of that which is experienced. And those aren't the same things. They aren't the same fundamental presuppositions. And I think that we've predicated our society, insofar as our society is functional, on the proposition that each individual is a sovereign entity, characterized by a spark of divinity that uses the responsible, truthful word to confront the chaos of potential and generate the habitable order that is good. I think